Brought to you by Penguin.
The Power of Music. Written and read by me, Sheku Kanneh-Mason. Foreword. I am a cellist. My reason for writing this book is to examine what that means, and especially what that means for someone like me. When I look at where I'm standing, I realize there were many accidents and surprises paving the way to this position. And also many things in place that steered me in this direction, and unsurprisingly, maybe inevitably, led me here. I want to explore why my first two sentences need the qualifier of "for someone like me." My life, at the age of 25, involves regular international concert touring, recording, interviews, television documentaries, work with children and young people, still playing to my conservatoire teacher, Hannah Roberts, and teaching as a professor at the Royal Academy of Music. My live concerts include being a concerto soloist with orchestras across the world, playing chamber music with other musicians I admire, performing recitals with my siblings, practicing several hours a day, and constantly working on new repertoire. I now live in London, but grew up in a noisy house in Nottingham, bulging at the seams with 7 children, 2 parents, lots of instruments, books of music, books in general, board games, art materials, and racks of shoes, mostly football boots and trainers, against the wall by the front and back doors. I went to the local primary and secondary schools in the city and came home to the smell of big pots of chicken and rice and the rowdy company of 6 siblings ready to eat, talk, joke, play, and practice. I grew up with music, sharing, play, company, and the creative world of imaginative games. Music existed in a range of contexts and had many manifestations. We danced to music, we sang in choirs, we made up songs together, we listened to music in the car on the way to lessons, or on the way to compete at festivals. We played chamber music together, in the hallway, or improvised, bouncing off each other's ideas and knowledge, or simply imitating music we heard on CDs, or the radio, or with our friends. We were taken to classical music concerts at the local concert hall, and listened to other musicians playing at school, or at Saturday lessons at the primary and junior departments of the Royal Academy of Music. We listened to music in church, or on film scores at the cinema, or to accompany stories on CD or tape, and we learnt the art and skill of playing musical instruments. My parents, although not musicians by profession, had both been taught to play instruments as children. They had seen firsthand how rewarding it was to develop as musicians, and to play with others in orchestras, schools, and community groups. They were determined that we should have the same experience. It was obvious from a young age that I would become a cellist. But it was also unlikely that someone like me would become a cellist. It was obvious because from the moment I had the luck and privilege to hold a cello in my hands, from the moment I was encouraged to learn, it became an overriding preoccupation and the central focus of my days. It was unlikely because I didn't fit the usual profile of a classical cellist. I came from the wrong background. The way I looked and spoke did not fit. I had no evident role model to follow, and that is why a main element of my career as a musician today is the work I do to promote music education. I am passionate about bringing other children and young people from likely or unlikely backgrounds to music, and to introduce them to or encourage them with learning to play musical instruments. And this is because I recognize that even with my
Sample complete. Ready to continue?